Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Savage Goose Show. There, we talk about Savage Worlds and everything going on in the Savage Worlds community for the past week. It's a slower week, though, but we'll get into that. Not only we're going to talk about the news for the week, we're also going to talk about the new Pathfinder for Savage Worlds Kickstarter. And I'm not alone tonight. I actually have someone finally join me who have been wanting to join me for a bit now, but things keep coming up both on his side, my side, and what have you. But we are finally joined by Maverick.
Hello.
The goose,
Hello, everybody.
the goose, and then we got Maverick, and now they're both here, and that's great.
Sure is.
So,
I'm happy to be here.
So Maverick is one of the players in my game. I run every Thursday, not this Thursday, but usually most Thursdays. We currently are playing in a Pathfinder for Savage Worlds game, running through Rise of the Rune Lords. We are in between books, actually. So actually, right now, one of the other players is going to run a small adventure. Do basically kind of like a Call of Cthulhu type thing. In modern day, I'm hoping it's gonna be fun. Although we are quite busy this summer, and all of a sudden, a lot of our days are just kind of gone.
Yeah,
it's fine. We'll get through it. We always do. There's always time periods where everyone's gone and busy, and then we always get back together, and that's all that's important. That we keep on going. So, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the news. There is, like I said, there's not a whole lot, so we are going to start the newsletter. I'm not even going to pull up the Savage Goose Show slideshow because it's basically just two items. So let's go ahead and let me go and share my screen, and we'll go ahead and talk about the newsletter first. Do that. There we go. Perfect. So, big thing first is the Pathfinder Savage Worlds booster campaign launched today. At noon, it is already funded. They already have like 600 and like 40, 50, 679 backers with $65,000 raised. It's only been 8 hours. I know it was backed in like 3 minutes, so it was quite quick. It was like 3 to 6 minutes. So yeah, so it's going really well. We're going to get into all the details of that. Let's not talk about that right now, though. The Savage Worlds 20th Anniversary Celebration Play Manager is closing, it says. I believe I thought it already closed. Or am I thinking a different one? I thought it was this one.
I'm pretty sure it was that one that you're thinking, and I thought it was too.
Yeah, I thought it closed last week. So I'm pretty sure like the last one it said like it was closing on July or like May 31st, and that's why I like went and double checked last week. I don't know. All my pledges were good though, so I'm looking forward to getting mine. I think you also backed this to get the player's guide. I think I also just got the player's guide, and I think because I got the player's guide. I'm regretting not getting the 20th anniversary cover of the core rulebook, but I am getting another core rulebook with one of my other Kickstarters, so I'm not really worried about that. There is also a lot of tabletop news here. So if you're using Foundry, there's some news for the new version of Savage Worlds Adventure Edition system for Foundry. I don't use Foundry, so this is not a whole lot of news for me. I don't really use any VTT usually, but there's some more information there if you're interested in getting that. And there's some news about the 4th edition, and also mentioning that there's a 25% off for the Pinnacle online store for VTT stuff for Foundry. Savage Worlds is. Go ahead.
Are you looking at this week's newsletter?
Maybe I'm not. Am I not?
I don't. You're not looking at the same newsletter I'm looking at, and I'm looking at the one I got 7 hours ago.
Well, let's go ahead and let's see if I messed up here, because that'd be funny, wouldn't it?
It would be a little funny.
From today. Nope, definitely not. Definitely not the same newsletter. Let's go ahead and fix that real quick.
And that's why it says it is closing, is because it's a week old.
Not closed. Yeah. Okay, I'm not crazy. I thought I saw some different information there too. Well, booger. Let's go ahead and get the right one. Is this the one you're seeing? Is this the correct one?
This is the one I'm seeing. Yes.
There we go. A lot more information about that. I did think that the VTT thing was like I thought I remember something else, but I don't know. The Deadlands Hell on the High Plains is on Steam and Fantasy Grounds. It's the same first. Hey, booster campaign's out. Go take a look at it. Deadlands Hell on the High Plains for the Fantasy Grounds is here. $40 on Steam or through Fantasy Grounds itself. Foundry also has Rifts for Savage Worlds, Land of Thousand Islands. If you're going to be running that campaign in Foundry, go check that out. With Rifts, though, there is a online convention, savagerifts.con, for July 18th to 21st. If you're interested in playing in a Savage Worlds game and have an opportunity to, and you want to play online, this is an online convention that you can kind of participate in. I participated in the one early in the year. I can't remember what it was called, the unofficial, the one that's run by the Discord group. So that was a lot of fun. And if you want to do more Savage Worlds stuff, this is for specifically for Savage Worlds Rifts, but I've seen a lot of people just for Savage Worlds in general. They have some other games as well. So if you're interested in playing one of those, look at the convention. The con is free, so there's nothing that you have to like buy your pass, but that's just so that we can they can properly know who's going to be in what games, and you can just sign up and play in a game at a whole bunch of different hours. There's I think it's 3 or 4 days. So check it out. I'll be playing in one of those games as long as I can find some time between everything. All right, let's see here. Necessary Evil 3, that is the current, make sure your address is updated if you moved. The Pledge Manager has closed, so there we go. And they're working with Easy Ship to get the shipping shipped. Yeah, there's a lot of Kickstarters that we're kind of waiting for, and I'm waiting for all of these, except for Necessary Evil. I'm not waiting for that one. I wish I was waiting for it, but I'm not. By the way, I do apologize if I sound sick. I am not feeling super great, but I am feeling well enough to talk to you all tonight.
Same.
Okay, so we just got each other sick. That happened?
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Cool. All right, so that's all the news for this week. And we're just going to dive right into talking about our main topic for the night, which is the Pathfinder for Savage Worlds Kickstarter. If you're just joining us, my name's Goose. This is Maverick. And tonight we are talking about Savage, man, I'm having a hard time tonight. There we go. The Advanced Player's Guide to and Bestiary 2 Kickstarter for Pathfinder for Savage Worlds. Before I get too far into this, I want to talk about just where I am at, and I think where Maverick is at when it comes to Pathfinder for Savage Worlds, and maybe just talk about our thoughts on it. We're currently playing in a game at Pathfinder for Savage Worlds. Using running through Rise of the Runelords, and I know I've had some mixed feelings about the system. What have you been thinking about it, Maverick?
I mean, I really like this system. There are things that I don't love necessarily, but as a whole, I like the system a lot.
I mean, I love Savage Worlds overall. That's 100%.
But I like Pathfinder for Savage Worlds a lot too.
Yeah, and I know there was definitely some things I was originally at first a little bit worried about, specifically when it came to class edges. Overall, I've come around on class edges. I'm not super worried about them but there is definitely a different feeling, I think, to Pathfinder for Savage Worlds versus using the core rulebook plus Fantasy Companion.
I agree with that. Yes, yeah, there's definitely a different feel because that class edge is a very beefy edge.
That's true. Do you think that's most of it? It's a very strong edge?
I feel like that is most of it. Is that it's a very strong edge. It kind of, to me, it kind of feels like it is doing something that I don't love. The one thing I find that I love about Savage Worlds is my character's my own. It's very flexible. Having that class edge and the follow-up edges kind of make it feel like, okay, now I've got a class. This is when I hit seasoned, here's an edge I take. When I hit veteran, here's an edge I take.
Not that you're forced to do it, but you're going to because it's strong.
Right.
Yeah. No, for sure. So just with that in mind, as we kind of dive into this, we love the system. I've already backed it, as you can see. Oh wait, no, I definitely backed this. I definitely backed this. Or maybe I just didn't get quite there. Apparently I didn't quite there. All right, well, I'll have to fix that later. So let's go ahead and talk about, real quick, I guess Answer Dooms asked, what books are y'all between in Rise of the Runelords? We are between book 1 and book 2. We just finished book 1. I think book 1 takes quite a bit. I think book 2 is going to go a little bit faster. We'll see. I think it will be a lot dependent on the characters and the players on how fast they get through the second book. But book 1's a little bit slower.
Not fast.
Yeah, it's less combat for so far. From what I've read so far, it's less combat, more investigation, which is what I'm looking forward to. I like that more role play investigating part of any role playing game. So we'll see how that goes. But let's talk about what's actually in this Kickstarter. So two things. One is the Advanced Player's Guide 2, because there's already been one that released with the Curse of the Crimson Throne adventure path. And then there's also going to be the Bestiary 2, which will include more monsters. The one thing I'm actually a little bit worried about is that we have the Advanced Player's Guide 1. Here we go. And we're already releasing a second Advanced Player's Guide, which everyone loves more content. That's great. I am a little bit worried about just like that splat book problem that 3.5 and original Pathfinder, I think, had, where there's almost too much content out there. I think it's too much combat. I think they kind of talked about this on the stream, but like introducing so much more content, and you don't think about all the possible interactions that can cause problems. That being said, I don't feel like that's necessarily a problem in Savage Worlds generally.
Generally, I don't think so. I do think that there's definitely room for that to become a problem.
Well, I guess I mean like
Savage Worlds.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mean like it's like a problem generally in Savage Worlds game system wise. I think more like just table wise. I mean, we've talked about this before. Like balance isn't really a thing that you really consider in Savage Worlds because of exploding dice, because of how certain mechanics work. I often feel like balance isn't necessarily something we're super worried about. Obviously, there's going to be things that if it's just consistent, I think that's what can be overpowered is consistency in Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
And so certain combos may result in consistency problems. But I know they are opening up feedback for this. They are going to be making some changes based on feedback if they see anything that's going to be super broken. So if you see a super broken combo, if you're someone like Maverick who likes making broken characters and likes finding the stupidest thing, what was the toughness you came up with for a novice character?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I theory crafted that character.
I mean, there's been so many things you'd be like, oh, you can do this. I think it was like 50 some damage without acing.
Oh, it's 200 and something damage without acing.
200
that is the maximum.
But that's like all the possible edges.
That requires 2 legendary edges and only like a total of like 8 edges. Also, all your dice need to be just barely not, and you have to pull a Joker.
Okay, and pull a Joker.
So like, yeah, it's possible, but it's not realistic.
So, yeah. So if you're interested, if you like that kind of thing, go make sure you leave feedback once the PDFs do come out. So what's in this Kickstarter though? We got the Advanced Player's Guide, and what is in the guide? New class edges, new powers, new magic items, and it's not listed here, but there is also going to be new ancestries. So the first off, the new classes, and this is one of the things this is where I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage, is that I did not play a lot of Pathfinder. I played like Pathfinder once, I think, at a convention. So I was reusing a pre-gen. Have you ever played Pathfinder?
No.
You played 3.5, but never.
I played 3.5. I played plenty of 3.5, but
just never Pathfinder.
Just never Pathfinder.
Yeah, I have a friend from church who plays a lot of Pathfinder, and he would probably know more about this than me. But there we go. So the 4 classes we do know are coming, though, is Ninja, Magus, Gunslinger, and Shifter. Ninja being, a ninja. I'm a little bit surprised this isn't like more options for like the rogue class, but maybe there's a big enough difference between the ninja and the rogue that it deserves its own class.
They did talk about that during the live stream. The ninja is going to be kind of more focused on the stealthy aspects of that, and whereas the rogue is focused on the sneak attack.
Okay.
Gotcha. And so if you want that traditional feel, you would just take both edges, and you'd be able to do both things really well.
Then they also have the Magus, which is going to be a caster, a Gish of some sort, essentially, where you have a caster and they're using magic through their sword. They said it is attacking parry, not using their arcane skill roll at target number 4. The target number is going to be the parry of whoever they're attacking, so that's good. I think that's probably going to be rules anyways, even without them saying that, but it is going to be super clear in the Magus that they do that. The gunslinger, listening to them talk about the gunslinger on the live stream, by the way, if you want to go watch the live stream, that's from earlier today. It was at 6 p.m. earlier today. You can see all the stuff they talked about with the lead designer for this book, Mike Barbecue. That's not how you actually say his name, but I don't speak French. Maverick can maybe fix me on that.
Nope.
It was like Barboa?
I don't know it.
Okay. It was like it was something like that. It looked like a French name. I figured you knew. The gunslinger though looked super. One thing they talked about is that some people don't want guns in their setting, and I get that. There's something about guns that, especially with my players, that they kind of just want to start breaking stuff. Like, oh wait, gunpowder exists, therefore I can do this. It's like, okay, but you don't. I say my players, I'm including
it's magic gunpowder, so it's not just like it explodes. It's magic still.
Here we go. Thank you, Barbo. Thank you. That's helpful. Appreciate it. So go take a look at that live stream. But yeah, the interesting thing to me though is that I clearly don't know the lore of Gloria and gunslingers, because they kept talking about how the gunslinger is going to be able to basically get bennies back and can use bennies in new ways, specifically to their class, and like not dying. I was like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
not what I was expecting.
They talked about the gunslinger, and I was like, that's the focus on bennies is not what I was expecting.
No, not definitely.
Very intrigued.
I was expecting. I mean, we don't know what it looks like yet, but I was expecting something more along the lines of. I'm sure there's going to be this different kinds of guns. You know, shotgun versus a rifle versus a pistol of some sort. I don't know.
They did talk about there being like scatter guns because they had to design a small cone.
Oh right, the mini cone.
The mini.
I think Hamster Doom. I think Hamster Doom. Confirm for me if you are also John Doom over on the Twitch channel. I'm pretty sure you are, but just making sure. I think John said something about it being a little mini cone, a little cute little mini cone. I'm not sure how I feel about that, by the way. I'm not sure how it was nice and simple that we only had
I kind of like the idea of a mini cone and hypothetically a mini stream as well, because I think it opens up more design possibilities. Also, they referenced like the wormling has the same breath range as an adult dragon. That doesn't make sense, really.
Because they all both have cones. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's the cone template always feel to me like a little bit strange in the way that the template works. And it definitely works differently versus in different systems on how cones work. And it was in one sense nice that there was like, there's one cone. But at the same time, I mean, it makes, I haven't had a whole lot of time to think about it after kind of watching the live stream. I mean, I like it, but also I like the simplicity of having only so many variants.
Like I would be okay with going, okay, there's 3 different blast templates. There's 2 cones, 2 streams. That's all we need.
2 streams? What's the other stream?
If there was a second stream. There's not. They haven't even referenced a second stream. But I'm
I guess if they have a mini cone, a mini stream probably makes sense too if it's not 12 inches.
Right. That's
it's only 6 inches.
It makes sense to also then have a mini stream too. And then those 7 things be all that you need for templates.
Right. The last one is Shifter, and I know nothing about the Shifter. I have not had any time. I think it's the first time I heard anything about there being a Shifter. I knew about the other 3, did not know about the Shifter class.
The Shifter being kind of more like the 5e moon druid as opposed to land druid. Like it's going to focus on the shape
shifting, sure,
but still very druidic in its feel.
So that'll be good for players who want more of that. Always in different forms. So that'll be good. The other thing was new ancestries. We have the Ifrit, the Oreed, the Sylph, the Undyne, and the Vineleshi, which based on these images, again, I do not know Maglorian lore at all, but based on these images, I'd say it looks like there's basically just one for every element.
Basically, yeah.
Got like plant, fire, water, air, and rock.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go with rock. Which, so that's gonna be fun. But I know there's people who are probably wanting some sort of elemental class for a while, or not class, ancestry for a while. There were some available in the fantasy companion, but this will be more tied into the lore of Glorian. So if you're playing a lot of Pathfinder, this will be good to have as a reference for that.
And a +4 race instead of a +2.
Yeah. Well, I always felt like the races in the fantasy book was always pretty easy to convert into a +4.
Yeah.
Like all you had to do was like remove one of the hindrances that it had, and then you're done. That's how I did the catfolk before we had catfolk inside of Pathfinder. There will be some new powers. They didn't give us any kind of. I did. Because we do have something here.
They gave us a very small list.
Yeah. Contagion, which the one things I am concerned about. This is again, not concerned is probably not the right word, but one of the things I'm sure they're aware of, they're trying to think about is making sure that they are not recreating powers that essentially exist already. So making sure that contagion is not just havoc or damage field in a different form. Making sure that whatever they're doing can be is unique and can be retrapped as something else. Like even contagion, when I think of contagion, I think bugs or disease, which is two different trappings. But I'm also trying to think, okay, if I was like a fire caster, how would contagion look to me? I think that's going to look more at. I feel like the word contagion and the power's name often make people think a certain thing, and they need to be able to trap it however they want.
Yeah.
Create demiplane. That seems easy enough, I guess. It seems pretty straightforward. I don't know how you would trap it differently, unless you said like the demiplane is always a fire plane or always a water plane or something. Make, huh?
I was just gonna say, I feel like the create demiplane kind of covers the like fortress spell from 5e, that kind of stuff, where it's like,
or
like a safe place for myself to be, or like I am banishing you, kind of maybe. Although banish is already a thing, so it's probably more that I create a safe place for me to rest,
like Liam's tiny hut, like in 5e. Yeah. Make whole. I can only guess what that's gonna do. I feel like it's gonna be some sort of healing power. And I want to make sure. I'm hoping it doesn't step on the toes of healing, but I also have no idea. Maybe it doesn't work on. It only works on like on the objects. Maybe it just fixes objects.
Maybe
it doesn't work. It's on monsters or creatures. It's on objects. That could be. Monster's Gift. I'm wondering if this is kind of like what's the power that gives you Warrior's Gift?
Warrior's Gift.
So Monster's Gift,
it's probably similar.
Where you can get like a monster ability from the monster abilities list instead of a edge.
Probably. That makes sense. And also seems very powerful.
I assume there's got to be some sort of limitation around that, because you don't want. There's like some of those abilities that monsters get are ridiculous, or it's like a higher level ability.
The advanced player's guide 1 had them separated by novice, seasoned, veteran. So it might be like you get one that's novice. For some extra points, you can go seasoned. For more points, you can go veteran. But
also, like how we don't have no idea what rank this power is available at.
Right.
So we have to see about that.
So maybe it's a high enough rank that's like, oh, okay, it's not so game breaking that you're getting unstoppable.
Yeah,
unstoppable is pretty dumb.
Unstoppable is fairly dumb. Monstrous shape change. I assume that this is going to just allow you to do more shape change than the.
They talked about this one. It's basically you can do more shape change into more monstrous things.
Now the question is, should I just spend a modifier to shape change?
What was that? Oh yeah, probably. And it could. No, they said it would take up an extra power of yours. So it probably could have been just a extra thing for shape change. Although it could be that like they didn't want to make it that much more pricey, but they did want to make it higher rank.
Sure.
It should be like it's a rank split more than a PowerPoint split.
Yeah. And if they want to like lock it behind an edge of some sort, they would have to like basically. The question is, from a game design point, do we want modifiers to have rank and their rank requirements, or
we do kind of already?
Do we have modifiers?
that we have
we have the epic modifiers.
We have the epic modifiers.
Yeah.
So those are already kind of, you have to have some extra edge.
And some classes never get the ability to.
Right. Like alchemists don't get the ability.
Yep. Permanency, I would. I guess it has something to do with like binding people, like things back to here, so that they permanently stay here. If you like teleport someone from like another plane here or summon something, I'm guessing that's maybe something like that. I think
it's probably something similar to that, and it's the one that's most intriguing to me,
especially since one of the new mechanics, nice, does talk about binding outsiders. So I'm wondering if it has something to do with like bringing outsiders into our plane and then like making it permanent here.
That would make sense.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if that power may just be tied in here. But there is some new mechanics here, and some are pretty exciting. Trap making is here, which I think it does. I think that's one of the things that is missing in a few other RPGs. Sorry about that. Is the ability to make traps and have like clear rules on how traps work. So I think that's something nice to have like some like very clear rules on how traps work. At the same time, I know some people really like just not having trap rules, because sometimes when you make these subsystems and these rules, you are removing the kind of the free flow form of being able to do it however you want in a game.
I mean, yes and no. It takes people who like they're already good at that. It takes that away from them a little bit. But for people who are less creative or don't quite know the system well enough to be like, I can't really make traps because I don't know Savage Worlds well enough to do this for my group I'm DMing as a first-time DM. Now, okay, I have rules for this. I can do this.
Yeah, I will be curious to see how these traps like will work and look, like how they, especially since there's gonna be like both magical traps and normal traps. So we'll see. And the other is there's traps in the core rulebook. I don't remember if there's anything about about making traps in the core rulebook.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's just like, here's some traps that you can do as a GM. Not really a thing you can do is for a player. So this will be good for players as well.
Yeah.
Spell blights. I think I feel this feels like a lot of a lore thing to me. I mean, obviously you can use it for making your casters weaker, but I feel like there must be like a lore thing behind giving it out originally.
It is straight up terrifying to me, who being the only caster in our current play group, that's a thing that's coming. That you could do to me.
Yeah, just be like, hey, you're now afflicted with this. Yeah. Do you think it seems unfair that this is like they put in a mechanic that makes spellcasters weaker and that's it? Like this, oh hey, spellcasters can get weaker now.
I don't think that's unfair.
Do you think they're why do you think that?
Because I think as a whole, spellcasters in pretty much any system are a bit more powerful. However, I do think that's less true in Savage Worlds.
Interesting. I feel like I think I have to disagree with you. I feel like a dip into an arcane background is almost always a good, strong thing to do in Savage Worlds.
Yeah, but I'm saying like me as a caster, I'm not. When we get to Legendary, I'm not going to feel that overpowered compared to either of the other two players in our group. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm going to feel pretty powerful because I'm dumb, but
because you're dumb.
That's not spell casting. That's just being cool.
Oh, okay. Sure. I don't know what you're referencing, but now I have to wait till I guess book 6 to figure that out.
4 or 5.
I don't think okay, sure. So spell duels is also gonna be a rule set we have in there, which I think is fun to have another subsystem for spell duels. The only hesitation I have is like, why? Again, like, could we just not have a fight unless it's like trying to like do it quicker instead of having a long drawn out spell fight? It's just, here's a quick way to do this.
Yeah,
here's
it's like a specific task for a fight with spellcasters,
like a social conflict, but just between spellcasters with spell casting. That's true. Crafting constructs, how to create golems and do your bidding. That seems awesome. I hope there's some limitations around that, like you have to be an artificer or something.
I would hope so, but that would mean that like no, actually that would be fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Or
You
at
just
least
have to have
some sort of
some
edge. Like,
requirement.
yeah, that makes sense to me. More hazards and disasters. They already have some hazards and disasters, but now we have some other ones like more natural and supernatural obstacles for your games as encounters or in dramatic tasks. Oh, that's fun. We don't do enough dramatic tasks in our game. We need more of those. I don't think the books have called for them a lot. We did a decent amount of them at ETU because they were used for rituals. But I feel like we could use them more for other things. And maybe I just need to find a good place to use them more often.
The one place I think we did one so far was one that you made up. I think. I think you added to them. The finding the place we just murdered everyone in. Unalived everyone in. We had the goblin guiding us.
Yeah, I don't remember using a dramatic task there.
We had to roll different skills to get a certain number of successes, and we destroyed it.
Was it traveling?
It was traveling. I mean, it was traveling.
I just don't remember. Oh well. I remember we used the chase, and that went really quick. Were the boars, so that was good.
We did use that chase for the boars. We used the traveling dramatic task.
You'll have to remind me later. I'm not sure what you're speaking of. And then the last set of new rules is for binding outsiders. So basically, is how to bind them. This is one of those things that I'm not sure. Another one of those things I'm like unsure of because I don't know if I want my players trying to bind outsiders. It feels like oh, there's rules for it. Now they're going to try to do it. It's like, but why? Like, what's the story reason? Oh, but we can. But why? Why are we doing this at all? But we can. That's why. I'm like,
none of us are capable.
Yeah, and not you guys specifically, but like, if we started over and you guys had other casters, like, oh no.
Yeah, if we started over, it'd be terrifying. We've learned too much. But we probably would because I mean you've played with us long enough. We have done that in the past. We've literally bound otherworldly creatures or awakened animals and then made them forever our servants. Like,
right.
We would do that.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if I want to encourage that line of play. It's not my favorite. When we start like adding NPCs companions. I don't like companions. That's basically what it is. I don't care for companions. Which I know there are more rules about companions in this book too, because I was thinking about, they mentioned the live stream as well, because there are some more like companion rules for this. I was like, oh, okay. Why don't I like companions? Because there are more things to manage. That's all. It's just more stuff to manage. So that's kind of a brief look at what some things are going to be from the Advanced Player's Guide. The second one, because again, we already have one Advanced Player's Guide. One of the things I did mention on the stream, though, I think it was like the cover of the book has the samurai on it. There we go, right there. And someone asked, hey, does that mean the samurai is going to be it? And the answer is no, but yes. The samurai there's going to be some new options for the cavalier class that's going to allow you to basically like turn the cavalier into a samurai. That's what they said.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Which seems cool to me.
Yeah, it seems fine to me. I don't. Mike said specifically that they're trying to not recreate stuff that's already existing. So, which that's fine by me. I appreciate that a lot. And so instead of having just like, oh, these two classes are essentially the same except for these minor tweaks, just giving them two different edges. So that's the two or some more edges to add on into the Cavalier class. The other thing that we're backing for this Kickstarter is the Bestiary 2, which include more monsters and creatures for the Game Master to use in their games. I will say, though, I haven't really used my Bestiary a whole lot. I think maybe I don't think I'll use it at all. My Bestiary 1.
I don't think you have, because I think everything so far in our Savage Pathfinder game has been in the book.
Yeah, exactly. They've all been in the book.
Lot.
That's true. When you ran your little session, you probably grabbed a whole bunch of stuff in there.
I did. I sure did.
So if you're not me, where I pretty much only run pre-written adventures and all the stat blocks are already in those adventures, and you want to run your own stuff, this is going to be more helpful. So it's 128 pages. If you just for comparison, the Advanced Player's Guide 1 was about 130. 132 is the last numbered page, so about the same size as that. And they're going to include some dinosaurs, some more cool dragons, some more familiars. Basically, if you can use these things you can use some of these monsters as familiars, is what they said, which is pretty cool.
Which seems really cool to me.
Sphinxes, dinosaurs, daemons, aeons, all sorts of fun stuff there. There's also, this is the one cool thing that I'm actually kind of excited for, just kind of generally, is the Bestiary cards. I'm not sure why I didn't do these back with the normal Bestiary, but these are sets of cards that cover all the monsters from the 2 Bestiaries. And you can basically, like, one side is going to be the art for the card, and then the other side is going to be the stat block for it. So if you as a DM want to, like, if you're not very good at describing the monster, you just be like, hey, here's what you're fighting. There you go. Nice and visible. And on the back of the card, you can have the all the stats right there. So you can just, like, really easily, like, just put down, read the stats, not have to flip between multiple pages of your book. Like, okay, well, they're fighting a Tarrasque and a dragon. They're on 2 different parts of the book. One's at the beginning of the book, one's at the end of the book. How do we do this? I keep flipping back and forth. That's annoying. Okay, just got your 2 cards, put them down. Yes, I understand that's a scary fight. Why would you put a Tarrasque and a dragon against some players? That seems really scary. But nevertheless, I think my players would probably be fine for some reason, somehow.
We would be fine as novices with our dice luck.
The only thing that's preventing you is that you guys don't have any ways to do heavy weapon.
Yes, I do.
Of course you do. Anyways, these Bestiary cards look really cool. I'm not sure if I'm going to get them. I'm tempted to. They do come in a cool magnetic, or there's a magnetic box you can get to put those cards into. It looks really nice. I've heard good things about the other ones that people have gotten. I think we're getting some magnetic boxes with our 20th anniversary pledges. So we haven't gotten those yet. The last bit of news is that they are doing reprints of the books. So this is also kind of backing the second printing of the core rulebook. And I think maybe some of the other stuff as well. The companion, the Savage Worlds core rulebook, the Bestiary, and Advanced Player's Guide, they're all getting second printings with the updated rules, which also means that with these updated rules are going to be also into the PDFs as well upon printing. They said minor and cosmetic corrections, typos, graphical mistakes, all those kind of things. So you can also get some new printings of the books there. And yeah. The only thing I hope there's no, I really do. I know there's some things that people probably want to be added to the core, to those books as far as rules go. I'm always nervous about getting really big changes into our books. Mostly because it kind of makes, maybe it's just a feel bad. It probably is. It's probably just a feel bad. Where it's like, oh, I got this book first thing, and now there's a whole bunch of updates that's going to be happening in the second printing. And I feel like I don't really need to worry about that a whole lot. I just do for some reason. This is coming from the guy who's got a first printing D&D 5e player's handbook, which has a whole bunch of errata in it. It's got like 3 pages of errata.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I mean, if you're interested in getting the books and they're going to be doing the reprints because they have run out of them. I think they have like some books in boxes, like in the ultimate boxes. But as far as like normal books, the only way you can get the book right now is essentially through a box. So if you want a book, go ahead and back this so you can get one of the first of their second printing. So just going to go over rewards. You have the Volume 2 digital, which is just getting your digital PDFs versions of these books. The print version, which is going to be probably the one I'm going to go with, where you can get advanced power cards, and you can get the best rated book and the advanced players book. The all-in digital gets you both books digitally, as well as all the card packs digitally. All in print will get you all the card packs, the magnetic box, the books, all physically, and in PDF as well. You always get the PDF as well. You get the Pathfinder Society book, which is everything except the shoot.
The two adventure paths.
Yeah, the adventure paths. So everything but the adventure paths, everything else, the companion, the Bestiary 2, the advanced player's guide, the Bestiary, the core rulebook, everything that exists for Savage Pathfinder that's not the adventure paths, all come in this. There are add-ons. If you want those adventure paths, you can get the add-ons with them. All of these, there is a discount on getting the card packs as a add-on if you want those card packs, and for some reason you're not doing the all-in print. So there you go. And yeah. Now, something that I'm just going to call out here with the booster campaign is that this is a booster campaign, meaning they are going to do this no matter what. Obviously, they're not going to fail this Kickstarter. It's already well over their goal with almost 700 backers already, with being not even 9 hours in yet.
Yeah.
But there you go. Any other thoughts, Maverick?
No, I'm definitely backing it because I definitely want some physical books. Because
I'll say do you have any physical books?
I don't have any physical books as of yet. I have one that's coming eventually.
The player's guide, the player's book.
Yeah. So I am definitely backing this with the physical books. I will probably do an add-on of another book, probably the core book, because
you're gonna have the core rule book, the Advanced Player's Guide 2, and the Bestiary 2, but no Advanced Player's Guide 2 or Player Guides 1.
I might do that, but I don't know. Or I might wait till the next one and then get the Advanced Player's Guide.
So they did talk about that. They did mention that there is going to be another Pathfinder adventure path printing. They even said that the adventure path I didn't remember it because something
about carrion.
Yeah, something about carrion. That's all I remember.
I remember that word. I don't remember what it was. I'm not familiar with all the Pathfinder adventure paths to begin with.
Go ahead.
I know someone said that they wanted to see the whole Sandpoint trilogy.
Carrion Crown. That's what it is.
That's it. Yep. Yeah, someone said they wanted the whole Sandpoint trilogy, and I'm like, yes, please.
That would be cool because then you're gonna keep just everyone stays in Sandpoint. Just have like a super epic long campaign that everyone. I'll not to mention like your players will be super familiar with Sandpoint at that point.
If you did three of them, 6 books each. 18 books would take us forever.
Yes, it would.
Like eventually, our sons would join us.
Likely, yes. Also, we could use them. We only have 3 players. We could use a couple more. Real quick, looking through the list of comments, Curse of Yig says, so long as crafting golems isn't like 80,000 gold pieces plus a rare magic book like in D&D. As long as that doesn't do that, it's gonna be good.
They did say that the Iron Golem is going to be kind of locked behind gold price for novices. Like as a novice, you're just not doing it because you're not going to have the gold.
Well, there's a lot of things as novices. I mean, you guys barely have any money as it is, and you guys are at the top of novice right now.
I've got like 20,000 gold worth of items.
Yeah, that's like one magic item.
That is true.
Depending on which magic item you get. Let's see here. Spell Duels gives me Big Trouble in Little China vibes. I'm trying to remember. I've watched that movie once because a friend of mine not made me watch it, but he based a character off of the main character of that movie, and I don't remember this. So
I haven't watched it, so I can't comment.
Yeah, sorry. I liked a more generalized duel mechanic. Deadlands gunfights are a good foundation, but I have a hard time applying it to say the dual top of Cliffs of Insanity. Well, so I would be curious to see if these duels, these spell duels, would it be able to be used for other kinds of duels? Like, is it only work good for spell duels, or could we use it for fighting duels? Could we use it for shooting duels?
I feel like that's a good point. Like, I feel like generalized duel rules would be really nice. Although that's kind of just you have combat. What's a one-on-one combat?
Yeah, that's true. But if we're trying to do it quickly,
system for it. Yeah.
So his question is just, are we trying to do it quickly? Could we use it for Pokemon battles?
Ooh,
So that's
not Pokemon. Your monster tamer.
Power World. Digimon.
Yes.
No, wait. Venkel says, I use the Bestiary for my World War II game. I want to play in your World War II game now.
Same.
Message Doom did mention that for heavy weapons, he believes that there is a universal spell modifier that can make damage heavy. There
That's it.
is, but we only have one spellcaster, and I don't know if he can apply it. Do you have anything that can apply to weapons?
I can just burn my blast, not blast, burst into a heavy weapon.
Your burst, yeah, but you can't give it to you can't have a way to make.
No.
Yeah.
No. Only I would be able to hurt the Terrask.
Right.
Which is terrifying because it would eat me alive because I will go down.
It seems like it might be. Grummaltech says it might be worth just getting the cards and skipping the Bestiary books. If you don't like the books, I like physical books. I love physical books. I like yes, I don't like to use them at the table, but I do like. I like flipping through books.
I didn't think about that, but that is a really good point. You could totally just get the cards and skip the books.
You have all the art. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that because I also like Pinnacle a lot, so I'm gonna give them my money.
I also really like. I'm with you. I like having a book.
Like I like the idea of cards for at the table, but just having them, I'm like, oh, like I have a bunch of cards for other things on my desk. I don't ever use them for anything.
Like a book is always in the same order. I know where to find my dragon. If I have 300 and something cards, I'm going to struggle to find the one I'm looking for. Unless I sort them really well. Unless I have some kind of good sorting. And then I'm putting them in a book.
It's true. Let's see here. Amsterdam says, hey, just go all in, Mav. Yeah, just go all in. Just go get I think you should just go Pathfinder Society, actually, is what I think you should do.
This is not the time for that.
No, it's not.
The next one, there's a good chance that'll be the time for that.
Whatever the next one will be. When do you think the next one's gonna be? Like end of the year, like Christmas time?
Oh, I think it'll probably be after this one is done. Like after this one's released. Like I have the books in hand, then it'll happen.
That's fair. They probably don't want to do Pathfinder. I mean, they said that this is pretty much ready. They got the okay from Pinnacle already, or from Paizo already. They just have to let the Kickstarter run. It's gonna be a month. Take out the, get all their funds, and then
do all the feedback stuff and edits.
Yeah, but feedback requires them to release the initial PDFs.
That's true. Yeah. So we'll have the PDFs. We'll have the PDFs hypothetically in 3.5 weeks.
There's usually a week.
There's usually some. So a month.
Yeah, basically a month from now. So come back July 4th as we celebrate the independence from Britain, and we might have around that time. It might be some PDFs. Pokemon Eidolon class, I think, is that way. Yes, you could just kind of use the Eidolon class as Pokemon trainers or Digimon trainers or whatever you want to do.
I mean, when we talked about that in Minelli's basement, we did use the Eidolon as a example. If that's how I would start as kind of a base or as a reference.
I've already talked about companions though. I love companions in video games. I do not like companions in my tabletop role-playing games. Just because I don't like to have to manage multiple things.
I think if it was like a Pokemon type system where you're it's a one-on-one fight or two,
it'd be a lot different.
It would be different because 2-on-2. I only got 4 things in this battle.
Yeah, and I think it has to be Pokemon. It couldn't be like Digimon because Digimon have their own
personality.
They actually
Pokemon, but
they actually speak. They actually talk to you. They give you insight into things. Not just cute little animal personality.
But Digimon, you also only have one partner. So
right, which makes that part a little easier.
Cumbersome that way.
Yeah. 2025, maybe 6 until the next one. Yeah, I'd say 6 months until the next one is probably what I'm expecting. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
I would say probably the next one will probably be a couple months after this one's in hand. So mid 2025 would be my guess.
I'm trying to remember when I got the advanced player's guide, because I feel it was a while ago at this point.
It was right around this time we started. It was like a month before we started Rise of the Rune Lords,
Right.
which was last summer.
I don't think we started Rise of the Lords last summer.
No,
I think
we started last summer.
I think it was like around Christmas time, like January.
It was January. You're right, because I was like, oh, I have until January to. You'll have till January because I was running the mid summer adventure.
Yeah. Real quick, Marcus says, I believe the permanency power is like the D&D and Pathfinder 20 permanency. It makes the duration permanent for certain spells. Oh.
That was my thought too, is like it could do that. But like, okay, I do summon outsider. I make it permanent.
Yeah, but
but only for certain spells.
But if it's a power, not a
power.
It's a power, not a modifier.
Right. But it would.
So does it have to be cast the same turn? Do you have to like do multicasting?
Maybe you would have to do multicasting, in that you have to do it on the same turn. That would be a good downside too. Going, oh yeah, I cast my grow shrink, and I'm permanently grown.
Or like casting smite on your weapon and make that permanent.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be a high power point cost as well. Hipposhim says in queue is Deadland Pack and W. I'm not sure. Abbreviations are hard. I don't know. Deadlands Pack and W. Oh, Pacific Northwest. There we go. Got it. Deadlands Dark Ages, which I've been waiting for since Savage Worlds started. For SWADE, I should say. Since SWADE started, they had released the jump start for it, and I played it like 3 times, and I'm still waiting for the Deadlands Dark Ages. So there you go. ETU 2. Yep. I think it's called Fresh Blood. I think it's supposed to be called. That's the current working title, I believe. East Texas University 2 Fresh Blood. Not Electric Blue Gulu. Deadlands Lost Colony 3, and he has no idea what the calendars are for those. Yeah, nor do I. But I'm looking forward to East Texas University 2. Looking forward to Deadlands Dark Ages, and looking forward to. I haven't done any Lost Colony yet, so I can't. There's a lot of Deadlands stuff on here. I haven't done enough stuff to get excited about Deadlands stuff, except for Dark Ages, which is mostly just because
Dark Ages.
Dark Ages is Deadlands in the Dark Ages. Yeah, during the Dark Ages.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
It's like it takes place mostly in Britain.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that's a little bit weird is that it's basically because Deadlands lore is weird. There's a lot of time travel in Deadlands lore. So
I know nothing about Deadlands.
The Peacemaker from like normal Deadlands ends up in Dark Ages, and basically Merlin teaches someone on how to make bullets.
Is this what's that movie where the first 2 are drug trips and the third one is same thing but in medieval times? Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah. No, it's not quite that creepy.
None of those were creepy.
I mean, okay.
But anyways, those will be the next year or so.
Jim says that there's probably gonna be some riffs in there and probably more holler. I know they haven't talked about doing some more holler. I'm surprised they haven't done more holler already. Another one of those campaigns I want to play through and haven't had a chance.
I would like to play some holler.
We have too many campaigns and not enough game time.
We have 6 books, 5 books to get through.
We're 5 books to get through, and then we have holler to get through, and we have Deadlands to get through.
We're never getting that far.
Then I have a whole bunch of other third-party stuff I want to play through as well. Lost Colony is so good. Shockingly good. I do think that Lost Colony seems like it's really good. It seems like a nice horror sci-fi game. Eric, since you're not familiar with Lost Colony does take place in space. It's Deadlands in space.
I assumed so.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I mean, Lost Colony to me could be like, oh, there's like a colony out west that's just lost to us. So
no, I assumed it was just space. Lost Colony to me just feels like a space name.
Yeah, Han Cluster, that's on my list. Hellbind's on my list. The After's on my list. Um, Sidewinder Recoiled, Street Wolves, Vermilion. Vermilion is really high on my list. I really want to play Vermilion.
You see, as you run one shots all the time.
I just need to do more solo play. I need to find some time to do some solo play.
Or one shot, or one-on-one play, and invite your friend Eric over.
I don't have from there. It's just a Maverick. I don't know who's this Eric you're speaking of. I mean, yeah, or I could with my wife more. That'd probably be a good idea.
I mean, you could do that, or you could invite your friend Eric over.
My friend Eric has as much time as I do free to play.
That's fair.
But I'm pretty sure that he's the reason that we can't play this week.
That's fair too.
I don't think that's I don't think that's going to help anything.
No.
All right.
No,
well,
relying on me to play is not going to be helping.
All right. Well, that's all we have. Hamster does say that Jody and Clint do a lot of duet gaming. The one thing is, I think if we did duet gaming, we would not do it as game master, like one game master, one player. We would probably do it like double solo play, like me and my wife. It would be like we both use.
Come on, dude, I'm right here.
Yeah, and this is all I get from you this week. We probably just do like use the Mythic Game Emulator to they tell a shared story, but using the game emulator to kind of figure out and then like sharing our experiences, like, oh, what do we think the game emulator means by this, and then doing that. So I think that's how we would do it play. I don't think we would do it one game master and one player, because we tried doing that once before and it didn't go very well. Just it was a lot to keep track of. Granted, that was back in D&D, not in Savage Worlds, but I think we would have a lot more time or a lot more fun doing it as double play, not duet play. I don't know what you want to call two people without a game without a game master. So there's that. Han Cluster is great Savage World setting. I know I will force my group to play it when it becomes fully available. Because I think it's like only a quick start right now. I do plan on buying it whenever that does come out. Evil Dead is awesome, and Bruce Campbell gives a forward on the original Deadlands books because it's like Evil Dead meets Briscoe Country Jr., which is a cowboy show he did. Oh, I did not know that, and that's awesome.
Man, Bruce Campbell is a hero. He's just a great dude. He's done a lot of cool stuff.
Did we ever finish watching the Evil Dead show?
No.
That's unfortunate for us. You finished watching Burn Notice, which has Bruce Campbell in it.
Sure does.
Yeah.
It sure did. All right.
Anyways, then last thing, it says best game setting I've experienced in 2 to date. That's some high praise. I'm sure. I know John Doom's played a lot of games, so just from him talking about stuff on live streams, not just our live stream, but Pinnacle's live streams as well. So that's a quite the achievement there. All right. Well, I think that's all we have for tonight. Next week, even though Maverick just got here, he was not joining us next week. Next week, we are going to be joined, unless he wants to join us, that's up to you, I guess. But we're going to be joined by Christian Sharano from Immaterial Plane. He is the, I don't want to say creator, because he's sort of the creator. He's the creator of the conversion for Eberron from D&D to Savage Worlds. So we're going to be talking specifically, though, about how to convert the setting that you love into Savage Worlds and how to get the same feeling of that system or that setting, but in your Savage Worlds game, and how to kind of go about that, and kind of talk about through some of his decisions and how he went about converting things and the decisions he made for that. So if you want to hear about that, come back next week and we'll be talking about that.
I'll look forward to being in the audience next week.
Sounds good. All right. Well, enjoy everybody, and I'll see you all next week. Cheers.